Hello everyone, welcome back to G&J Exploring. In today's video we will cover day 2 of our trip to Prague. So as you can see on the map here, day 1 is shown in red and day 2 is shown in blue. We start off at Prague Castle and have a look at its changing of the guard before heading up to the top of St. Vitus Cathedral to look at the view. We then leave the castle grounds and go look at a very interesting sculpture before visiting Prague's Narrowest alley, having an ice cream and heading to the Lennon Wall to look at some graffiti and hear some people playing some music. After going back to the hotel for a little sit down, we head out to a very nice authentic restaurant for dinner and then head to the Anonymous bar for what I'm told was a very interesting concept experience. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy the video.
It is a new day here in Prague and we have got the tram up to the castle. This tram here is the one we got. And be careful to validate and buy a ticket. As all we'd say about the trams in Prague, it's a very interesting network. But we're going to go into the castle now and see what we can see. There's a changing of the guard at midday. They change every hour, but at midday there's more music and fanfare, so we'll see if we can see the castle and see the changing of the guard.
So as Juliet said, we're now at Prague Castle, which is the absolutely monstrous structure in front of us with the church in it. So we're heading over in a moment across its very deep moat, but for now we're just going to be heading down this path and going to look around the gardens because apparently we won't be coming back this direction. So we're walking down to the bottom of the garden. We have a fairly nice view out across the city over there behind the trees. And I think if I walk down here a little bit more and spin round, we'll get a decent view of the castle behind us. Let's give it a go, let's turn around here. And yes, we have a decent view of the castle. So the rain has stopped and we now have the blue sky reflecting on the tarmac, looking very nice, and we have some nice trees which are blossoming. We're nearly back at the castle entrance and we're going to go to it and see if we want to go in the castle. We need to see what you can do from paying and what you can't do, and we'll make our choice.
Now walking through the gate. These are the guards. They don't smile much. Maybe they don't have anything to smile about. And if we go through the gate, this is the first time we see the castle grounds proper. The sun has now come out. And there we are. Quite an impressive building. We are now, along with quite a few hundred other people, waiting for the midday changing of the guard. As we said earlier, the midday one, they play music. You might be able to hear them practicing over there. And they do a ceremony in this courtyard for the tourists to see.
So, as you will have just seen, we've watched the changing of the guard here. Juliet did some videos. I'm going to be honest, it was not the most interesting thing we've ever done. But good to see while we're here. And we're now going to be heading through this arch. And we'll see the cathedral here in the middle of the castle area. And then, assuming that we can do relatively easily, we're going to be walking to the top of the cathedral. So if we go down here, we'll get the view. Try and dodge the people blocking the front. See how we get on. No, we're being blocked. But there is the cathedral, looking very impressive. And we're now going to be heading around the side of it to go up it. So we are on our way up the tower, and it's a little bit hard going, but not too bad. And we have a view of the bell here in the tower. Down there, looking very impressive. It's the biggest bell in the Czech Republic apparently, or at least Prague. Can't quite remember what I read. It looks very nice. And basically you go up the spiral staircase all the way to the top. And it is a very spirally staircase, but not too bad. Let's give us a taste of the view at the top. So we are now at the top of the tower, and apart from the annoyance of having to go up a very thin spiral staircase with people going up and down, it was absolutely fine getting up here. Not too many steps, and we have this great view as across the city. So you've got the new town in the foreground, which is something we'll probably be going through later on, and we have the old town and where we're staying in the distance across the river. So we have stayed up here a little bit longer, and I've managed to get into the prime position. My head's through some railings at the moment, so hopefully I don't get yanked backwards. But we have the sort of panoramic view out across Prague. So spinning round from that side, we spin around right across Prague, and it really is a wonderful view. For 200 whatever the currency they have here, which is about £8, I think it's definitely worth coming up here to have got the great view. And we're just going to have to now figure out how we get down efficiently with so many other people trying to get up. So we have exited the tower. Quite dizzy coming down, but here we are, and we're out the front of it, and looking up we have the great tower up at the top. So we're right at the top of the tower where that copper dome is, or copper top, and yeah, it's really good. And we're now going to be heading down past the cathedral, down through the castle, and we're going to be going to a park just a bit away to have some lunch. So found a map, and we came in at the top where that number 12 is and those red and green arrows. Went to number 2, which is sort of the main square the fountain is. Went to 1 where you can see the change of guard. Then round to number 3 where there's the view of the cathedral, and then went up to the top of the cathedral, which is named after Saint Vitus. Then round 7 where we have the view at the back, and now we're down at 10 and 11 at the exit. So we've come down from the castle, and we are on the riverside here. So everything in Prague is a lot closer than it seems, so we've really not come that far. We've also found some of these things that Juliet called beavers yesterday, or 12 beavers, but apparently they're not beavers, they actually look more like big otters. So I'm not quite sure on what exactly they are, but it looks like we found a load of them. And there we go, we have some ottery, ratty, beavery things there in front of us.
We are now in a traditional Czech gingerbread house. Not a house, a shop that sells it. The woman here is rolling it out. Got some heart shapes that she's made. And this is probably the biggest amount of gingerbread I've ever seen in my life. We're going to get one to try. Over here George is attempting to select it. Oh, he's got carried away and he's bought 2, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll get back to you when we're eating it. This is Prague's narrowest alley. It has the traffic lights, and we are now going down it. I hope that was on green for us, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't very convincing. And all it does is bring you down to a restaurant. But we've had lunch, so we will call it a day there. And I bring George to all the cultural attractions. This is the Urinating Men Sculpture. If you watch closely enough, their willies move up and down. Oh, talk about it, and it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing.
We are ever so slightly down from the Urinating Men, and we have a nice view of Charles Bridge we were on yesterday. Juliet says there's a few more things to see on this side of the river, and we'll be heading across the bridge and back to the hotel for a little sit down.
So we've got this traditional Czech dessert, we've got the pistachio ice cream, so there's a thing to do in Prague, and this is the woman cooking them. I don't know how that's cooking, but it is. And this is George eating it. George, what do we think? That was, I think it's okay. What a glowing endorsement, ladies and gentlemen.
We are now in the new town, or Juliet tells me is also called the lesser town. Not a very nice name for it, but we've had our snack. Turns out the ice cream's nice, the cone is not very nice. It's got some biscuit at the bottom, which is quite pleasant, but yeah, not to our tastes. But we've got the nice street in front of us, and Juliet is now going to go find us something to do with John Lennon. Not sure what, but apparently there's something to see.
So as promised, we've come around the corner and we are at the Lennon Wall, named after John Lennon and the Beatles. It's basically what looks to be a short wall with some graffiti, stickers and the like. Oh, and some bad singers. Classic. This is the focus point there. This is the Lennon Wall. We are now in a very Czech restaurant. Massive queue outside. Luckily we've pre-booked. George, what have we got here?
We've got beef goulash and bread.
Open the beef goulash, George. Wow.
So we've just left the restaurant called Mlejnice, definitely the correct pronunciation, and we had a nice time. We got the goulash as Juliet said, and the goulash is served in some bread, and quite acceptable. Price was pretty good, but at least for my particular taste, the food was a little bit stodgy. But that's sort of what you get when you come here, so you can't complain too much. And we are now heading to something called a concept bar, and Juliet says I'm going to absolutely hate it. So we're going to get there and see what the concept is.
So I've brought George to a bar called Anonymous Bar. The idea being it's got lots of various inspiration, Guy Fawkes, V for Vendetta, anonymous movement. It's a trendy cocktail bar in Prague, something to come and see, quite infamous.
So we have left the Anonymous Bar. We nearly got sold some Banksy cocktails as well. Not entirely sure how Banksy and cocktails go together, but then who would have thought Anonymous and cocktails would go together? But either way, it's been quite a long day and we have escaped, so we're now heading back to the hotel, and we will get back to you tomorrow when we will be heading into the Prague Old Town, which we've largely avoided most of it so far, and we'll see what we can find when we go there.